There's a coming financial apocalypse. I discovered that paper money is a fraud. So we are on our way back to the minting facility. We're gonna find out how far along the guys are on the production effort. They are working on 10-ounce bars today. We have been making 10-ounce bars. However, we now have a new design stamp with our new logo. There's a lot on that stamp, and so we don't actually know if it's even gonna work. When we try new things, sometimes it doesn't work on the first try. Sometimes we have to make a change and come back and try it again. But I do have the mindset that anything is possible. This silver project, for the past 10 years of my life, it's been wild, it's been adventurous. I've almost been killed like 50 different ways in the process of learning how to mass produce the silver and how to melt the silver. I feel like it's been scarier than any combat mission that I ever went on. Anything can go wrong, and we can, run out of money or resources, or break the most expensive machine. And I feel that if we help enough people, securing your ability to buy things during any type of economic situation, regardless of whether you have the internet, or whether the Federal Reserve notes still work, or whether whatever local currency works, when you have silver, it will work no matter those conditions. Paper money comes and goes. Silver is forever. So this right here is one of our melting furnaces. We built these melting furnaces out of items from the local hardware store. Literally galvanized steel trash can body, insulating material, temperature sending unit, stainless steel hood that we made out of yard recycled metal. This melting furnace costs about $300 worth of parts to build, and it is leaps and bounds better than the $50,000 machines my first company had. We had 3 of them, and they would constantly break. You had to have tons of spare parts for them. Every time you'd turn it on, there was a 50% chance whether it would work or whether we'd have to do a repair. Meanwhile, these $300 build it ourselves using like recycled materials is more powerful, more reliable, and these things have literally worked every single time we've turned them on. We didn't start with a huge budget or all this money, so we've had to build most of our own technology. We had to build our own stuff in a lot of cases. We started with raw willpower and desire, and we've had to do this with what we've had so that we can be successful and produce this product for the customers. Everything I've had to learn essentially by trial and error. I've had to keep trying it different ways until I'd find a way to get it to work. What I found out about silver minting was that it's largely kept secret, and that the minters out there and the big mints, they don't tell people how they do what they do. There's very few books or information that tell you how to mint coins or bars. And so I've mostly had to use books that are hundreds of years old that I found. This grandma age silversmith many years ago sold me a hand polishing machine, but along with the hand polishing machine, she said, oh, you can just have this book that I have. It was like a silversmith book, but it's like 150 years old, and that book was probably more informative than any other thing I've found in years. And then also there's this video that I found, and it's 1920s black and white US minting footage. It's like a 12-minute video, and I've literally watched it hundreds of times and just tried to study what I could see happening and tried to understand, like, what am I missing here? It was black and white and it's hard to see, but we've modeled a lot of the things off of that 12-minute video from 1920s. So he's getting ready to pour silver. He's wrapping his hand with a damp towel, which we found out that a wet towel is the best insulator, better than any $1,000 pair of gloves. Nothing has worked better than our wet towel. Literally a $5 wet towel, and you wet it with water, and it resists heat better than anything. carefully lifts the crucible while the other guy's moving the charcoal out of the way to keep it clean, and he protects the silver with a flame so that it doesn't absorb oxygen. And the melting furnace operator pours the silver very smoothly and carefully, not too fast and not too slow. And he fills it right to the top. In 2016, we sold Sons of Liberty Mint to Pyromet, and then Pyromet hired me for a year to set up the mint for them. I was there working, and that was it for me. I was gonna go after that, and I thought I was done with silver. But while I was there, my scientific interest that I wanted to learn all I could about silver, and that after my year was up over there, I came back to New Hampshire to focus on martial arts, and that I was teaching that and doing some classes. And I did that for a few years. I thought I was done. After I left from Pyromet, I thought it was over for me doing silver. But what happened was over the next few years, I couldn't ignore that people kept calling on the phone like, Dave, I need to buy silver. But then over that next few years, and especially 2019, silver started becoming more popular again. And next thing I knew, I started experimenting in my apartment, minting silver. And then I had this inclination in my mind that I really wanted to test this idea that I had for all these years about my own melting furnace design that was using, local hardware store parts. And I put together this thing outside and I tested it, and it worked so incredibly good. I was like, oh my gosh, this works so good, and it costs like nothing. And it was more powerful than any furnace that I could afford to buy. When the furnace worked, like when you make a great discovery and you're like, oh my gosh, we can make the most powerful furnaces in America for peanuts. The melting capacity is a big part of minting. And if you can melt efficiently, effectively, reliably, for cheap money, that's really powerful. Now everything is working for us, and now all the things we need are coming. We have quadrupled the square footage. Now we have the ability to make over 25,000 pieces of silver per week. He's about to test our 10-ounce bar stamp. This is our new stamp block. We haven't tested it yet, so we don't know if it's gonna work. And it costs a lot of money, so I hope it works. He's got the bars stacked, and he's cutting 2 10-ounce bar blanks per machine per cut. And so each time each machine makes a cut, 2 10-ounce bar blanks emerge. And so essentially there's a liquid that's liquid cooling the blade of the cutter so that it makes a very precise, repeatable cut. There's an automatic machine that drives the bar forward at a very slow rate of speed. That way it cuts without any lines. That machine is another one of my contraptions that we bought from the hardware store, and we converted it to a silver cutting machine. It really works wonderfully, and we're very happy with that. But we can't actually tell you all the details of how that machine works, partially because some of it is our secret technology. More, definitely do more than we did. I would do 7 puffs. Can I take a look? It looks okay. It's not deep enough.
Yeah, it's not deep enough.
Not deep enough. But also, I wonder if it looks a little bit deeper on the left than on the right. It's hard to line them up. Okay, so it's definitely not even. I can see that we have. All right, so that was all the way. I can already tell we have to make an adjustment because it's stamping more on the left than on the right. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. All right, so the good news and bad news. The good news is that I think it looks good and I think it works.
Yeah.
The bad news is that this side, the L side, is stamping deeper. So we need to shim and adjust this. We need to tell Steven it's still not quite right.
Okay. The sun looks beautiful.
But it works. It still stacks. Everything that we've wanted has come forth for us. Though I'm not saying it's been easy. I'm not saying that it's been like, oh, Hannah, everything's gonna be done for you. It's more like the cosmos has given me just enough to go a little further each time. They're like, here's just enough, Dave. They never left me with not enough. They gave me just enough so that we keep building and keep building. And so, you know, now here we are, and now we have no choice but to continue.